Mistakes that change his life forever. The sun had not yet risen, but the village of Rampur was already awake. A thin layer of morning fog floated over the muddy paths, wrapping the small houses like a quiet blanket. Somewhere a rooster crowed lazily. The smell of wet soil mixed with cow dung and fresh grass filled the air. At the edge of the village, a man stood silently beside his wooden cart. His name was Raghav. Raghav was a milkman, not a businessman, not a dreamer, just a simple man trying to survive. He looked at his cow, Gauri, gently rubbing her forehead. Gauri was not just an animal to him. She was his livelihood, his partner, his silent companion through years of struggle. "Today we must sell everything," Raghav whispered. "My son needs medicine." Gauri flicked her tail, as if she understood. Behind Raghav, in a small mud house with cracked walls, his wife Sita sat beside their 8-year-old son, Aman, whose breathing was shallow and weak. Fever had not left him for 3 days. The doctor in the nearby town had warned them, if you delay again, the condition will worsen. But medicine cost money, and money came only from milk. Raghav tied the clay pots, the milk containers, to his wooden cart. Each pot was filled carefully, sealed tightly, and placed with balance. Years of habit guided his hands, or so he thought. This was the first mistake. Overconfidence. The journey begins. As Raghav started walking, pulling the cart, the wheels creaked loudly. The path ahead was uneven, stones, potholes, and patches of wet mud from last night's rain. He had walked this road every day for 10 years. Yet that morning, his mind was elsewhere. He kept thinking about Aman, the medicine, the doctor's words. "Why is life always testing us?" he muttered. At the first turn of the road, his neighbor Mahesh called out, "Raghav, slow down today. The road is slippery." Raghav waved his hand dismissively. "I've done this 1,000 times," he replied. "Nothing will happen." That was the second mistake, ignoring advice. The cart moved faster than usual. Raghav wanted to reach the town early to sell milk before other vendors arrived. Competition had increased lately. More milkmen, lower prices, less respect. As the village disappeared behind him, the road narrowed. Tall trees lined both sides, their shadows dancing in the fog. Birds fluttered away as the cart rattled past. Then it happened. The fall. One will hit a hidden stone. The cart shook violently. Raghav tried to control it, but the rope slipped from his sweaty hands. In a split second, the cart tilted. And then, crash. The clay pots shattered like fragile dreams. Milk spilled everywhere, flowing into the mud like white tears. Some pots rolled away, broken beyond repair. The cart lay on its side, one wheel spinning uselessly in the air. Raghav stood frozen. The world went silent. No birds, no wind, no breath. He slowly fell to his knees. No. He dipped his fingers into the mud, lifting milk that was already mixing with dirt. It slipped through his hands. All gone. Today's income. Aman's medicine. Hope. Raghav screamed, not loudly, but from deep inside his chest. The kind of cry that never leaves your throat. He hit the ground with his fist. "Why didn't I listen?" he whispered. This was the third mistake. Haste driven by fear. The weight of failure. Villagers passing by stopped and stared. Some shook their heads. Some whispered. A few offered sympathy. "Bad luck," one said. "Be careful next time." Another added casually. But no one could help him recover what was lost. Raghav lifted the broken pots one by one, cutting his fingers on sharp edges. Blood mixed with milk and mud. Still, he kept collecting. Why? Because poor people don't have the luxury to give up. When he finally returned home, empty-handed, the sun was high. Sita saw his face and understood everything without a word. She didn't shout. She didn't blame him. That hurt more. Aman looked at his father with tired eyes. "Did you sell the milk, Baba?" Raghav turned away. That night, Aman's fever increased. Raghav sat outside, staring at the dark sky, replaying the accident again and again in his mind. If only he had slowed down. If only he had tied the pots better. If only he had listened. Mistakes don't announce themselves. They arrive silently and change everything. Rock bottom. The next few days were brutal. Raghav borrowed money from neighbors. Some helped, some refused. Pride broke slowly, piece by piece. He sold his old bicycle, then his radio, then his wife's silver anklet. Still, it wasn't enough. One night, sitting beside his sleeping son, Raghav whispered, "I have failed you." That was when something inside him shifted. Failure didn't just break him, it spoke to him. Learning the lesson, Raghav began to observe. He noticed how other milkmen tied their pots differently, using cloth padding to prevent movement. He watched how some repaired their carts, strengthening weak joints. He realized his biggest mistake wasn't the accident. It was never improving. I kept doing things the same way, he thought, and expected life to change. The next morning, he did something unusual. He went to the village carpenter. "I can't pay much," Raghav said honestly, "but I need to fix my cart properly." The carpenter looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. "We'll manage." The change. Raghav worked harder than ever. He woke up earlier, walked slower, checked everything twice. He added ropes, padding balance. People laughed. Why so careful now? Afraid of another fall. Raghav smiled quietly. Yes, he thought, and proud of it. Slowly, customers noticed something else. Raghav never mixed water, never lied, never rushed. Milk was pure. Service was respectful. Trust returned. Then something unexpected happened. A dairy owner from the town noticed him. "You're consistent," the man said. "I need someone like you." A new beginning. Months later, Raghav stood in the same road where his cart had fallen. But this time, he wasn't broken. He was stronger. Aman was healthy again, running ahead, laughing. Sita stood beside Raghav, her eyes shining with quiet pride. Raghav looked down at the road and smiled. That fall had hurt him, but it had also taught him. Mistakes don't come to destroy us. They come to shape us. If we are brave enough to learn. Final message. That day, Raghav didn't just lose milk. He lost arrogance. He lost fear. He lost ignorance. And in return, he gained wisdom, patience, a future. Mistakes changed his life forever. Not because they happened, but because he learned from them.